Guardian, Mr. Ghost, allow me to introduce you to Dean Rebecca, leader of the Ionians.
Dean Rebecca. I've never heard the name Dean. It's beautiful.
Well, the Ionians use a sort of academic hierarchy from what I can tell. And wait, you've never heard the title Dean before?
No. Is it an Ionian name?
No, they use it as a mark of high status here. Oh, and so you know, they haven't seen other humans in centuries. Be patient with them. Our presence here is tremendously significant. Translating what I can, the Dean's honored to encounter the first new humans in centuries. She says the Ionians' deity, the thing they call the holy anomaly, is on the other side of the altar, threatened by the singularity. The capsule we put into the altar stabilizes rings of the lock to keep the singularity contained. It's a collection of dark matter she called
tell me more about how you got here. The more we know, the better chance we can find a solution.
All I know is I woke up here 4 weeks ago in a singed suit. I don't remember how I got here. I know I'm from Earth, I remember my family, but not much else.
That sounds like how a light bearer would wake up, but you don't have a ghost.
No, I'm alive. You probably know more about this place than I do. But I do remember hearing Guardians have a complicated relationship with memory. Is there any truth to that?
That's a fairly common question. Guardians forget who we were before our first resurrection. We forget in exchange for the light.
Shame. Feels cruel.
Drifter, you brought them my message, capsized. Find my frequency. I'm not Neon.
No way. Orin. Neon. Orin, what happened to you? I thought you were locked in as the Nine's errand runner. You were gone.
Yes, but my memory is a mess. It's all vetiver. Oh, damn it. Rig transponder. You can pinpoint my location.
The hell, Orin? Why do you sound like you ate a dream journal?
Petrichor. Damn it. I am not adjusting to linear time well. I am no longer emissary. I quit.
You quit? Thought you'd ascended or something. Become a higher being. I didn't know you could quit being emissary.
Me either. But with the right motivation, anything is starlight. You'd be proud. I'm molted.
Oh, I have to know what you mean by molted.
Exactly what it sounds like. I wanted my body back. I wanted my will back.
just found shoes, for Pete's sake. Got your location, Orin. Never thought I'd hear from you again.
Scrambled eggs. I meant to deliver a message, but can't remember what it is. I know the 9 will need a replacement emissary. They will not find one nearby on the X-axis. They will need to search a millennia up and down the Y.
My message found you. I'm Orin, once a Guardian, like you. When I last reached out to the Vanguard, I warned you of the 9's fallibility. The results of that fallibility are in play now, I think. You will fix it, but how isn't clear. Everything I knew is scattered. My will, cleaved from service and rough-hewn clay. It wasn't bloodless, but I know I chose this for a reason. I did. In my memory, when I touch my hand to the moment, I am overcome with dissonance, and another shape, buried in noise, assuming my place. I must speak sharpness to the drifter. A tint on knowledge held, but still unknown. I'll need your help hunting down the fate that brought us here.
So, Orin, you quit and now you're just here?
Mitosis. Annoying you had to see me like this now. Scrambled eggs and someone else's shoes. How have you been?
Oh, busy. Feet planted on the ground more often than not. Seeing someone new these days.
Oh, good. Good for you. Can't say the same. I've been too busy corralling my electrons. Who are you seeing?
It's, Eris Morn.
You have a type, Drifter. I'm happy for you both. Really.
I hear you had a run-in with that Archon fellow. Or his cutouts, anyway. Apparently he's the leader of these exiled Elixni, but nobody's seen him in a long time. Real recluse. The Ionians say he can speak through the mouths of his followers. Like some kind of psychic thing. But that's absurd, right? Have you seen this little ventriloquist act? Huh. Well, I'll believe it when I see it myself. I suggest you do a little bang and burn to draw out their leadership. Once we know exactly who we're dealing with, we can do a more realistic threat assessment.
I haven't been very deep into the Exiles' Accord. They aren't fond of visitors. This architecture seems a little out of the box.
We've dealt with Elixni houses before, but this does feel different.
Lodi, I need to be frank. I don't buy your story.
Yeah. Well, you don't know the half of it. If I wasn't me, I also wouldn't buy my story.
What do you know about whatever brought you here?
Nothing. I woke up here in a singed suit after the most insane fall of my life. It seems the local Elixni had developed a parallel form of teleportation. They're using dark matter to create portals. If we want to infiltrate their sphere of influence, we'll need that capability. Mr. Drifter says you've got the skills for a smash and grab, so I suggest we go loud. Get us a sample of that tech and we'll be in business.
This must be the House of Exile's new teleportation tech. It's mounted in an old cannon frame. That's handy. Scans show the power cell and space inverter have been tampered with. Those mechanisms have dark matter cores. They'll wear out fast. It looks like this mobile unit creates an entangled link between a jump pad and wherever you're aiming. Just be careful what you point it at.
Good work out there. You've got some real moves. Normally, agents that skilled at wet work have checkered past. Makes me wonder how you came to be so dangerous. With expanded access, we can investigate those Elixni in earnest and find the truth about this so-called Archon. I've got some ideas on that. Catch up with me later to get started.
Guardian, I've made myself a contact within the Elixni ranks. Apparently not everyone is happy with the way things are being run.
You little sleuth.
That's the idea. Anyway, there's apparently a power station nearby feeding a lot of juice into something off-site.
Got it. I'm reading high levels of arc energy.
It's mixing with signatures matching the singular.
All right, Guardian, this has to be the house's power plant. There's a massive current moving through the cables around us. And gravitons.
My informant Keels tells me that power is going straight into a warship.
If we can get to a power plant's controls while it's charging their ship, we can send a lethal surge to it from here before it ever leaves port.
Crafty. And it'll buy time to hunt down the Strangelet capsule in the Accord. If we stop the singularity from expanding, stabilize Kepler, maybe they'll stand down.
Yeah, fat chance we talk a psycho like that off a ledge. He's a true believer in whatever psychos believe in.
They aren't leaving us many options. We need to reach the anomaly.
Deathless, why have you come? Glimpses are seen of your actions, but your motive ever shrouded. When my house found Soul, saw the great machine with your world, we left in defeated peace.
It looks like this station is actually drawing some form of power from these native cyto colonies. So, the slimes are their generators?
The Deathless was foretold. See how they must kill as prophesied? Kiver Sight warned me of this final test. I'll be resilient, my house.
Guardian, patch me into a console and I can override that barrier.
They're piping in splinter mines. Crazy sons of crabs are gonna cause a damn cave-in.
You're on bomb defusal, Guardian.
Lavask sure likes to talk, making a show of us barging into his house. Maybe we pull his moxie out from under him and he lets some intel slip.
Unless he sees that coming. All this prophecy talk. Back in my day, you kill a fella fair without knowing the future.
You think he's really clairvoyant? Okay, Guardian, we need to find a way to overload that control panel.
Once we do, the immense surge of current will wreak havoc on whatever warship the house is trying to power up.
Probably why they tried to blow us up. I guess they're trying to unplug. We should hustle up.
Like vile Vex, the Deathless is violence-driven. They cannot be turned away by reasoned words. Only blood.
Mighty Archon, we hear your prophecy. The Deathless kneels before the Giver with your blessing. Just open the way.
Will what now?
This was not our tricks. You conspire with metal invaders to keep us from the Giver, to draw our house into folly. Exiles with it. Their death is fated to be reborn.
What's your next plan? Stand there with the guns pointed at each other until someone gets cold feet?
So the Archon didn't take the bait, but he mentioned being kept from the Giver. Sounds like, despite their push to the Singularity, something's still cutting them off from it. That means we don't have to rush right in unless they make a move. Maybe there's somewhere else we can apply pressure.
You're a kid. Those things been shooting at you since you landed on this dump, and you still haven't pulled your piece.
That's right. Unlike you, I don't prefer a gun to solve my problems when questions work just as well.
Enough! We may have knocked out their power, but the Archon's still out there. We'll need to be ready when they make their next move.
You sure your informant ain't running us around in circles, Square?
Kiosk is risking a lot just to speak with me. And I've vetted them, of course.
Yeah, you're probably right. All those ones that tried to kill us are just bad apples.
People aren't all one way or another. That's what makes this interesting.
I've been talking to that drifter fellow. Not a name I'd self-apply, but I like him. He understands what it's like to be stranded far from home. Anyway, he was telling me about these aliens who are giving the Ionians such a hard time, the Elixni. Apparently, they normally live on something called ether. Huh. Seems like you already have some experience with it. Interesting. The locals say these Elixni augment their supply with dark matter. Who knows what physiological effects that's having. Might be the reason they're so hostile. I suggest you assess their production lines. If we learn how the dark matter is affecting them, it might give us some leverage.
got some intel from my informant.
Informant? Well, well. First it's a contact, then it's an informant. They're taking a liking to you.
Maybe a way to help the house calm down and see straight again. I'm sending coordinates, but keep on that heading.
Lodi, Drifter, checking in. How goes your recon on the House of Exile?
The Guardian's handling the situation well, but Miss Ray, to be honest, I don't like this. There has to be a way to de-escalate the situation.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. I've been watching the house from the derelict, and they are one ruthless group.
Do they appear to be in league with the Conductor? That would tell us something at least.
Not sure who that is. I have to believe this Archon is a lone actor. Mr. Ghost, you should be nearing a refinery or some kind of drilling operation. Coordinates incoming. I think this is where they're processing their ether. Maybe we can disable their machinery until the Ionians can correct the process.
Okay, I see it from up here. Derelict scanners are picking up all sorts of weird gravity fluctuations, and a whole heck of a lot of exiles.
Solent says these trains are like quantum-entangled objects, held in superposition across the fourth dimension.
Yeah, Orin says a lot of things no one understands.
No, I get it. It's like a time lock.
We're through. Now to disable the Exile's dark matter refinery.
I wish it was as simple as talking to them. Last time I tried, I got shot at. And it wasn't my Elixni accent.
They get real touchy sometimes. Sensitive little crustaceans.
Guardian, I'm reading some highly charged energy through one of these pipelines. Lodi, Did the Ionians ever explain why they stopped working with the House of Exile? From what I gather, it didn't end well.
I got to talking with one of the old pilots who gabbed on the subject a bit. Ionians tried to synthesize ether for the house.
Why? That's not a simple job. Leave it to those servitor garbage disposals. Matter goes in, ether comes out. Easy.
Except here, everything's imprinted with dark matter, which they apparently want to extract for a pure conversion to ether. The Ionians say it shouldn't be harmful, but the singularity seems to make it toxic to the Elixni.
That's it!
You think us sick, but I am mighty. Exile is our teacher, our home. Our rifles are many. Our will is anointed by the giver.
That's strange. It doesn't have enough juice to charge the relay. Maybe we can overcharge the cannon somehow. Guardian, it's supercharging the cannon. This is the house's central refinery. My scans are going a little haywire, but that can't be right. These pipes are operating at alarming pressures.
Let me fill you in on a little secret. None of House Exile's gear has safety regulators. My kind of people.
Hey team, I've seen those little flying bots play hot potato delivering dark matter down to your proximity.
I have an idea. Guardian, a concentration of dense matter could send the whole system over the edge. Let's look for those shanks. I think we can fit under the grate with the pipeline. You were right, Moddb. This scans like dark matter, wrapped around an artificial gravity well.
Sounds like the type of thing that'd make a nice loud rattle inside some heavy machinery, don't it, hero?
This is the house's central refinery. My scans are going a little haywire, but that can't be right. These pipes are operating at alarming pressures.
Let me fill you in on a little secret. None of House Exile's gear has safety regulators. My kind of people.
Hey team, I've seen those little flying bots play hot potato delivering dark matter down to your proximity.
I have an idea. Guardian, a concentration of dense matter could send the whole system over the edge. Let's look for those shanks. You were right, Moddb. This scans like dark matter, wrapped around an artificial gravity well.
Oh, don't worry if it doesn't fit. Just jam it in there.
Pressure's increasing, but the pipes are still holding. We need more.
Incoming Exiles. Crack your knuckles and rack your slides.
I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but they seem intent on a fight. Their leader doesn't sound like he's crazed or confused. He has an agenda and a voice to wield it.
Seen a lot of those types in my time.
Maybe we could still reason with him. The House of Exiles and the Ionians used to be allies. Don't turn your back on that. Let's look for a solution. Together.
Fool scholars hold our ascension for their distant study. No! We will feed on the killer, train covet, enter its horizon.
It's barely holding together. One more, Guardian.
Entomb the deathless. Protect our ascension.
Well now, that went, great.
It did. You learn the house centers around this giver. Watch your flank, Guardian.
Sight from Elixni eyes.
This is the house's central refinery. My scans are going a little haywire, but that can't be right. These pipes are operating at alarming pressures.
Let me fill you in on a little secret. None of House Exile's gear has safety regulators. My kind of people.
Right, Moddb. This scans like dark matter, wrapped around an artificial gravity belt.
Oh, don't worry if it doesn't fit. Just jam it in there.
Pressure's increasing, but the pipes are still holding. We need more.
Incoming Exiles. Crack your knuckles and rack your slides.
I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but they seem intent on a fight. Their leader doesn't sound like he's crazed or confused. He has an agenda and a voice to wield it.
Seen a lot of those types in my time.
Maybe we could still reason with him. Lavask, the House of Exiles and the Ionians used to be allies. Don't turn your back on that. Let's look for a solution. Together.
It's barely holding together. One more, Guardian.
Protect our ascension?
Well now, that went, great.
It did. We learned the house centers around this giver. Watch your flank, Guardian.
You feed their greed, speak their human lies. Ionians want us truth blind. To keep the anomaly sight from Elixni eyes. voice is a raised spear, arc sparking. See it against the black space sea. Our banner. We suffer. All suffer.
I came here thinking these elixirs were poisoned, needed help. But this... like a bunch of holy rollers.
More exiles between you and the exit.
This Archon has a stranglehold on his people. They're gonna follow him right into the grave.
I have seen your doom, your fall, spread across many visions, many possibilities. Only one must strike true.
That pilot I spoke to, he mentioned the Archon, Lavask, wasn't always the leader of the house. But one day he starts getting visions, next he gets a taste for politics.
A gift from his giver.
The giver and the singularity sound like synonyms, but I can't see how a black hole gives anyone anything.
Given what we know, my hypothesis is that the source of the Holy Singularity, as the Ionians call it, and the Exile's giver are one and the same.
Ikora, the Nine invited us here. It was 3. The thought just... it's like it unlocked in my head.
The Nine. 3. They didn't just bring us here to deal with the Archon. The Nine are extra-dimensional beings. They're connected to the celestial bodies of our solar system.
What does the planet care about a single elixir? Either way, we need to neutralize the threat he poses to the Ionians. I've seen leaders like Lavask before. He doesn't want a war. He just can't look weak in front of his people.